Hello everyone, welcome back to the Benchwarmers Podcast. As usual, I'm joined by my co-host Josh Sykes.
It's good to be here again, Gab.
And as you can see, we are continuing the format which we attempted technically with the Championship predictions video. We're in the car doing sort of a carpool ranking teams transfer windows, if that makes sense. But yeah, we're going to go through every single Premier League side like we did with the kids previously. And we're just going to see which one is, well, put each team into different rankings for how well they've actually done in terms of the summer 2020 transfer window. If you can call it really summer, because it was really delayed and all that with the coronavirus and everything. They pulled out a bit then. But yeah, as you can see, the rankings we've got, as you see below us right now. I've just completely pressed off it. Right, I messed that up completely. The Fabrizio Romano is the main category because, in case you don't know who Fabrizio Romano is, he's like an agent/journalist who is well known for being one of the most reliable in the entirety of football, if that makes sense. Below we've got Cheeky because it was quite a decent window. Not quite top tier level, but still better than Solid, but a really good window. Believe that beneath that we have got Solid because that's just like, bang, good window, that'll do. Below that is not quite Carlin because it's just not quite there, if that makes sense. And finally, we've got Bradford Standard, which is basically League 2, not good enough standard. So the first team which is actually involved in the ranking is Brighton and Hove Albion, who had a fairly busy transfer window. They brought in the likes of Adam Lallana, Joel Veltman from Ajax. Daniel Welbeck recently came in just a few days ago on a free agent from Watford. I don't know how he keeps getting contracts at Premier League level. I mean, in my opinion, he's not really worth it. He should have dropped down to the Championship. But yeah, how do you rate that window?
It's been good. I like the look of Ramsey. He's been really good so far. Excellent right back, if I'm honest. Danny Welbeck's an interesting one. Would I have chosen him personally? No, there are better strikers. You've got Neil Maupay on the books already. Yeah, that one's an interesting one. As for Veltman, he's an alright centre-back, but is he going to do bits in the Premier League? I mean, no, because he's old. I know he's been in it before with Arsenal, I think. Maybe, I'm not entirely sure, but is he going to do decent? Yeah, 50-50.
Yeah, I think Veltman comes in to fight for positions because they've already got Harrison Dunk and of course Ben White in there in centre back who.
Harrison Dunk, that's a new one.
Is it Harrison? What's his name?
Harry Dunk. No, it's not even Harry Dunk, is it? It's
what's it? Dunk something?
Damn.
Oh God.
Jesus Christ.
Dunk.
Yeah.
Dunk. I completely forgot his first name.
I can't remember it.
Dunk and Ben White. Then them two obviously the main centre
Lewis
backs.
Dunk.
Lewis Dunk. Yeah, Lewis Dunk. Harrison Dunk. Obviously they're the main ones in there, but then of course Veltman coming in supplies that extra competition. I feel Lallana's a really good sign if they can keep him fit. Obviously he wasn't doing too bad at Liverpool, to be fair. He's always had a good career with him from Southampton to Liverpool. I think he could really shine at Brighton. I don't know how well he's actually started the season for them, but
he's not really played, I don't think. I think he's just constantly come off the bench.
Yeah, in terms of actually the outgoings at the Amex Stadium, they've lost Anthony Knockart to Fulham, Aaron Moyes left the club to go to China.
Don't know why he's gone to China.
No, that's a weird move for him. Duffy's found a new home in Celtic, which is a good sign for them in my opinion. But Dale Stephens just left the club to join Burnley. I think Brighton, for me, I'd say probably solid window. They've lost a few decent players like Knockart and of course
Knockart is silent kit.
Knockart. They've lost like Knockart and Duffy and even Moy. However, I think they've kind of like levelled out with the signs of Veltman, Lallana, Welbeck again. I'd put them in solid.
It's been a decent window for them. They've started off pretty well, so yeah, I'd agree with solid if I'm honest.
And it's Manchester United. They're a bit of a controversial window because obviously a lot of people complained they weren't bringing in the right calibre?
Right position.
Right positions, really, I guess, because you look like of Chelsea, Man City. We'll get onto them. Brought in some
oh my God, we've
players.
got Nuno Espirito Santos behind us.
Right, that might come across a bit racist, but sure. They can't see it either. But yeah, Man United, they brought in the likes of Donny van de Beek, which we found out how to pronounce his name a few weeks ago. Diallo comes in from Atalanta. Alex Telles comes in for Porto. Pelistri from Penarol. Cavani from PSG. And of course, Dean Henderson comes back to the club from Sheffield United.
Yeah.
I think they've had a decent window. They've lost Chris Smalling, who could be a possible loss, but that's only the really decent player they've lost. Sanchez left, of course, but he wasn't great. Dallo going on loan to Milan alongside Pereira to Lazio. I think they've had quite a decent window despite all the complaints they've been getting.
It's more of a mediocre window. I wouldn't really call it decent. The players they've brought in, yes, they're alright, but would I say they're going to excel in the Premier League? No, I mean Cavani could do a Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but can I see it? Not really. He's a difficult one for Man U. Donny van de Beek, yes, he's a good player, but he's not even starting for Man U at the minute.
No.
And then also you still got, they've not brought in any centre backs which they needed.
Yeah, badly. That was the main position they needed and they've completely avoided it.
I know. They've just kept the fridge that is Harry Maguire at the back and the Swedish calamity that is Victor Lindelof. But that was, yeah, if they'd have strengthened in centre back, I'd have said it was a good transfer window. I'd have probably said it was up at cheeky, but I'm going to have to go for solid or even not quite Carling, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I think we'll put them at the lower end of solid when we rearrange all this at the end. I think if they just kept it Van de Beek, then it'd definitely be probably not quite Carling, but bringing in Alex Telles and Cavani on transfer deadline day, they were
Alex Telles is a very good signing.
Yeah, they were two good signings to say, so I think we'll probably add them in towards the end, I guess. Next up then, we have the other side of Manchester, is Manchester City, who have strength from the likes of Ruben Diaz, Nathan Ake, Ferran Torres, probably their main signing so far this transfer window. Not so far, this entire transfer window. Yeah, that's all they've really brought in, over than a few youngsters. Thoughts?
I like it. They've brought the Ruben Diaz is a very good signing. I think he can definitely shore up their defence alongside Laporte.
Yeah.
Nathan Ake is an interesting one because I never really rated him at Bournemouth. I don't think he's going to excel at Man City. Ferran Torres is obviously just going to be a fringe player. He's just going to be add a bit of depth on the wing. So for me, it's been a good transfer window from them. It's definitely been a solid transfer window. Do I think it's any more than that? No. You could argue it's less, but at the end of the day, they brought in Ruben Diaz, which was the main position they needed.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with that probably, because then again, they let go of the likes of Leroy Sané, Otamendi, even that Adara Bayo, no idea
I don't know who that is.
He went to Fulham for a couple of million. And David Silva, of course, losing him as well. They've lost quite a few decent players. Yeah, I think we're going to put them in solid again, to be honest. We've got all of our teams so far in solid, but it's just
a solid transfer window.
Next up then, we've got Sheffield United, of course, not had the greatest start to the season as they would have hoped, as they did last season.
Not won yet. They haven't got a point, I don't think.
However, in terms of transfers, they've not done terrible in my opinion, with Ryan Brewster coming in obviously for 23 million. I think that's way too much money for him, to be honest.
It's a shocking amount, it's a ridiculous amount of when Liverpool have done them over.
Yeah, Aaron Ramsdale comes in to replace Dean Henderson. Burke from West Brom, the double signing from Derby of Jayden Bogle and Max Lau. Fotheringham comes in from Rangers, and of course Ethan Ampadu comes in from Chelsea. They haven't actually lost anyone too pivotal in their team. Revel Morrison went to the Netherlands for ADO Den Haag, no idea. Luke Freeman went out on loan and lost Callum Robinson to West Brom. Leon Clark, of course, went to Shrewsbury, and Mark Duffy to Fleetwood. They've not lost any of the big names, which I think is the main for me, because there would have been interest in the likes of Jack O'Connell, John Egan, Chris Basham, Lundstrom, all of them sort of players. I think Brewster, they overpaid for him. They probably could have got better for less money, maybe. He's not really experienced in the Premier League. He hasn't really done much of an impact at Liverpool. Well, they've sold him permanently, so clearly not. Whereas at Swansea, he was decent. I think Sheffield United, they needed... Sorry, the entire camera's just gone. Sheffield United needed a few more decent players, but they didn't quite bring them in, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they've not started the season off well, so the players they brought in, yes, they're alright. But the fact that they haven't started as well, they've not continued from last season where they actually had a good foundation to go from, just proves that for me it's been a not quite Carling window for them.
Yeah, I've got to agree with that. Maybe one or two, maybe more bigger signings, and they probably could have improved, but yeah, not good enough. Next up then is Tottenham Hotspur, who
Tottenham Hotspur.
They've had a decent window, to be fair to them, very good window. Lo Celso's move was made permanent for 28 million. Sergio Reguilon came in from Real Madrid alongside Gareth Bale, of course, which was the big name signing of the window. Matt Doherty, of course, came in from Wolves. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg came in from Southampton. Joe Rodon came in on transfer deadline day from Swansea. Carlos Vinicius came on a loan as the backup striker. And, well, probably the biggest signing, Joe Hart, came in from Burnley. Yeah, I think Tottenham had a really good window. They've only lost the likes of Vertonghen, who's probably the biggest name, but he was getting on a bit, and they replaced him decently well with Joe Rodon, who I think could do quite well there. He's been a great player for Swansea for a number of seasons now. Ryan Sessegnon, of course, went out on loan. Oliver Skip went out on loan. Two good players there who will probably come back and make an impact for Spurs.
Parrott as well.
Yeah, of course, he's gone to Millwall. I don't actually say on here, but Walker Peters, him leaving is not really big for Tottenham.
Well, no, because they brought in another right back and you've got Sergio Aurier as well.
Yep.
One thing I don't like about what they've done though is Mourinho's brought in Matt Doherty from Wolves, but he already doesn't like him because he plays too high. He's not as defensive as he should be.
Yeah.
And I think that's a major blow for them because he was meant to be their star signing, obviously, before they brought on
Bale and
Gareth Bale, and for them to have kind of butchered it and
we're from that way.
no, they've kind of butchered it and not brought in. Well, they're just sticking with bloody what's he called, Sergio Aurier at right back, and yeah, he's an alright player, but if you're just going to stick with him there, what was the actual point of bringing in Matt Doherty?
Yeah, especially for 15 million, that money could have potentially gone somewhere else. Another player who's going to be involved in the team. Where would you go then?
It's been a solid window.
Yeah.
They've started off well. They've had some good results. Yes, at the weekend it was disastrous. The fact that they had a 3-0 advantage and managed to lose it in the last 10 minutes.
Oh, you forgot about that. Good goal though.
It was a good goal from Lanzini, but it was poor from Tottenham in general. Like, they played well.
Yeah.
They should have won the game, and they just didn't because they didn't capitalise on all the chances they had. Which they've got to capitalise on them. Harry Kane had another blinder, but it's just frustrating because you know the quality they've got and then they just don't do it. So for me personally, it's been a solid window, but I'd put them in not quite Carling because none of them are playing right.
Right, well, we'll go not quite Carling now. I trust your judgment. Next up then, probably a team which will be quite high up there because I think they've had a great transfer window. Everton.
Mate, Everton are in whatever the hell the agent's called.
Fabrizio Romano straight away then.
There's not even any doubt about that. They've had an outstanding window for Ancelotti to have brought in the likes of James Rodriguez,
On a free transfer
Allen,
as well.
and Decore. Decore, he's not a big name from Watford,
Yeah.
but he's stunned. He's been solid in midfield,
Yeah.
along with Gomez and Allen. And Rodriguez has been outstanding in 5 games. He's had 6 or 7 goal contributions.
Yeah, they've basically built a whole new midfield around Gomez. Well, not around him, but I think the biggest sign was obviously Rodriguez coming in from Real Madrid. But
Personally, I think the biggest thing they've done is have Duncan Ferguson work with Calvert-Lewin.
yeah, Calvert-Lewin's
He's a new man.
Yeah. Also, Ben Godfrey came in from Norwich. If that's right.
You did.
Hey, I'm starting to learn. Obviously, Olsen coming in as well as a goalkeeper to supply some competition for Pickford, who I just want to say, for me, not Liverpool tackle, because I don't know if you've seen all over social media, Liverpool fans crying about it.
Seen it.
I don't think I've seen a comment saying he should be done for assault. I'm not being funny, but Liverpool fans really need to sort their heads out because we've seen.
Be done for assault's a bit far because it's a game of football, but should he have been red carded? Yes. Should it have been a penalty? No, because Van Dijk was offside, but that's irrelevant. It should have been a red card. That I do agree with, but yeah, we all know how rubbish Jordan Pickford is and how highly I rate him.
Yeah. The main thing now for Everton is to hold on to Calvert-Lewin and, well, the players right now, because come January there'll be big teams interested in their services. Obviously, they've had a fantastic start to the season. I don't know where they are in the league. At the top?
Yeah.
Top of the league. Nobody would have expected that from Everton. Yeah, I think right now, if Ancelotti can keep on to his players, then they'll have a really good season. But yeah, Fabrizio Romano level, is that what we're going for?
Yeah, has to be.
Next up then, a team who probably...
God, yeah, I apologise for the camera.
Yes. Yeah, we need to be careful with these car episodes. Well, Fulham, who have not had a great start to the season, to say the least. They brought in Knockout from Brighton, pronounced it right this time. Harrison Reed from Southampton. Congolo from Huddersfield. Kenny Tete comes in from Olympique Lyon. Don't know why I say it like that. All that.
Yep, that's right. Just walk straight across the road without bloody looking.
It's an old person, to be fair.
I don't care.
Iona comes in from Torino. Lamina from Southampton. Anthony Robinson from Wigan. And a sign which I think could be quite big. Animela Luckman coming in from RB Leipzig.
Who's this?
He scored against...
No, I don't know who that is. I'm like, what's the team?
Oh, Fulham.
Okay.
They've had a lot of signings. Loftus-Cheek coming from Chelsea, Areola from PSG, Anderson from Lyon again, and finally Adari Bayoyo, however that's pronounced, from Manchester City. While they've brought in a lot of players, it's clearly not working right now for Fulham, I think. If they can use Loftus-Cheek to his capabilities, which I think we had a conversation about a few weeks ago about how they won't do that.
Yeah.
Because they don't put the right style. I think they use him to his full capabilities, they'll be fine, to be honest, because he's a fantastic player. He's probably at a higher level than Fulham. We saw that with Crystal Palace. it's just whether they can do it. Yeah.
What Fulham did well was the owner came out and admitted they'd not got the players they wanted.
Yeah.
He then went out and bought 2 centre-backs on deadline. Or bought or loaned in 2 centre-backs on deadline day.
Yeah.
That's good, because that's what they needed. They were atrocious at the back. They were last time in the Premier League, and they are even more so now. I think in the first 3 games, they shipped 9-10 goals. So you've got to look at it from the point of view that the owner brought in the players they needed on deadline day. He came through. It's been a solid window for Fulham.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that.
Solid.
Yeah, it's been a solid window for them. Are they going to be challenging for top half? No. Are they going to be relegated? Yes. But that doesn't matter. It's been a solid window.
What do you think about the Congolo signing? Because Josh is a Huddersfield fan.
What do I think about the Congolo signing? Have him.
Fair enough then. Next up then is Southampton, who have again had a decent start, I think.
I think they've been like an average start, I think.
Yeah, of course, they drew with Chelsea, I think it was 3-3.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of signing, they brought in Diallo from Stade Brest in France. Walker Peters came in from Spurs. Salisu coming from Real Valladolid, no idea. And Theo Walcott came in on loan from Everton. It's been they haven't really brought in many players, to be honest. I don't think right now they actually had to, because they've obviously had a decent season last season with the likes of Ward-Prowse and Danny Ings doing quite well. The biggest probably problem for them was losing several midfielders. Højbjerg went Spurs, Reed went Fulham alongside Lamina. Yeah, they've lost quite a few players and they haven't really brought in enough depth to replace them.
Yeah, I think last season they had an alright team to build on, so they only had to bring in a couple of players that they let go to obviously fill in those positions and just add a bit more squad depth. Have they done that? Sort of, but I'd say it's a not quite Carling season. Yeah,
it's just maybe one more quality player, maybe 2 then. Yeah, moving on to a team that we both don't like, but will be fair. Leeds United, who last night were defeated by Wolves.
Up the Wolves.
Yeah, up the Wolves, I guess. They brought in the likes of Rodrigo, Diego Llorente from Real Sociedad. Rafinha came in from Stade Rennais. I can't pronounce his French names. Helder Costa from Wolves. Robin Koch came in from Freiburg. Meslier came in from Lorient. George Eldhart came in from Wigan. Jack Harrison from Manchester City. Didn't really lose in the big names. Maybe Barry Douglas, but the way I was trying to say Leeds, I completely have respect for you for the way that you actually let him go. The owner came out and literally thanked him for his services at the club, even though it's only a loan deal as well, so he'll be back next season. That was just great to see. I think clubs should do that more and show more respect to their players. But yeah, nevertheless, I think they've had I'd say cheeky, to be honest with you.
Leeds have had a good window. If everyone can blend together and mould well, which they have been doing, I'll give them their due, then we can safely say Leeds have had a good window. It's been cheeky. It has been cheeky. Yeah. I will admit that. Fair play, Leeds.
I think for a newly promoted team as well, they've used the money well, because obviously you get all that the funds which come from promotion.
Yeah. What I found interesting though, I was reading on social media today, at this stage of the season when Huddersfield were promoted in their first year, we were 8th.
I saw this in Leeds 10th. Yeah.
We had more points as well.
So Leeds fans, don't get your hopes up. Yeah, you could do a Huddersfield and be near bottom of the Championship in a few years' time. Anyway then.
Cheers for that, I didn't need to remind.
Next up is Aston Villa, who I want to completely apologise for, because when we did our Premier League predictions video, I put them bottom. I put them bottom at League.
So bottom.
Now they're going for Champions League. So they've got
a 100% record so far, only team that actually have. So fair play Villa for me personally. You're in for Fabrizio Romano.
Yeah, I think in all fairness, at the time when we recorded that Premier League predictions video, the only player they brought in was Matty Cash, which shows how late we did the business. Say that was that a llama?
Yeah.
There's a llama. They brought in the likes of Ollie Watkins, who's a fantastic sign in my opinion. Bertrand Traore came from Lyon. Emiliano Martinez, pronounced that really weirdly again.
Yeah, the goalkeeper. He's been a damn good signing.
He's been a quality sign, to be fair to you. I knew he would be when he came from Arsenal, because obviously we're doing well there.
And him, Ollie Watkins and Matty Cash, you wouldn't expect them to be marquee signings.
No.
They're doing bits.
Yeah, and of course Ross Barkley as well, coming from Chelsea on loan. Great goal against Leicester the other night.
And Grealish is on fire. Like people said, he could have moved to Tottenham, he could have gone to Man U, but why not? Neither of them lot are going to be challenging for the title. Aston Villa are.
Well, if you knew that were going to happen, fair play then.
Can you see into the future?
The good thing about Aston Villa as well is not let go of any players, which was the main thing, because they didn't really let go of Grealish, obviously.
No.
The biggest player they've let go of is James Chester, who's gone to Stoke, and he was on loan there last season. So literally they've lost no one, which is good for them. Next up then is Burnley. Can you even tell me any players Burnley have signed?
Bottom.
Yeah. Dale Stephens is the biggest name they brought in from Brighton. Yeah, Brighton. And obviously Will Norris came in from Wolves as a backup goalkeeper. Very strange window. They've not really done anything there. They're at Bradford standard right now. So, yeah, nothing else to really add. I think if they wanted to be doing better this season, we need to be adding more players to their ranks.
It's Bradford standard. There's nothing more needs to be said, if I'm honest.
Yeah, now to a team who did amazing against Tottenham the other day, West Ham United.
They've not had a good transfer window.
Well, no, however, they kind of saved it on deadline day because obviously there was a lot of uproar from their fans when they sold Grady Diangana to West Brom for just 12 million, which was bad. Alongside that, Albion Ajeti went to Celtic. I know some West Ham fans that I know wanted him to be part of their squad. However, it wasn't. Josh Cullen left for Anderlecht to play that. Very close to my heart. But nevertheless, they brought in Thomas Souček from Slavia Prague alongside Kufal. Never heard of either of those players, to be honest with you.
I've heard of Thomas Souček.
I think he was on loan there last season, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was. I've just heard of his name before.
Craig Dawson from Watford, a bit of a strange one again. I don't really know what to think of that, only on loan, a bit strange. But yeah, obviously Cyber Ram was the main one. Again though, getting him on loan until the end of the season and then with a future fee possible, it's a weird one. I don't know why you wouldn't just pay the money out flat for him, because obviously he was linked with Chelsea at the beginning of the window. For West Ham to get his services, it's a great deal for them. It's just the West Ham owner's been a bit stingy and a bit awkward negotiating with Brentford, I guess. But where would you put him?
Not quite Carlin.
Yeah, I think
it's not been.
It would be Bradford standard if they didn't bring in Ben Rama.
Definitely.
But that signing kind of lightened the blow, I guess, for West Ham. Next up then, Wolverhampton Wanderers, who I can't even think of anyone they brought in.
They brought in that Silva.
Oh yeah, they brought in is it
Fabio Silva?
Fabio, yeah. Fabio Silva from Porto for 36 million. I didn't know that.
He's only 18 as well.
Oh god. Nelson Semedo coming from Barcelona. That Kaijan Hoover from Liverpool. Marcel coming from Lyon. Vitinha came in from Porto. It's just been a very, I'd honestly say not quite Carling for Wolves, but probably that higher end of not quite Carling.
To be fair, I'd put them in solid, not going to lie. They're like, Nelson Semedo's a good signing.
Actually, yes, Semedo.
Fabio Silva is an alright signing. He's one for the future, definitely. He's one for the future. When Raul Jimenez eventually leaves, because that's inevitable.
Yeah, I think at least Marcel as well, very versatile defender. Yeah, he's getting on a bit, but his experience could be pivotal in the push for Europa League, Champions League, really.
Yeah.
Saying that they've lost quite a few decent players, including Diego Jota going to Liverpool.
Jota.
Helder Costa to Leeds, Doherty to Spurs.
And it's not Diego, it's Diogo.
Ruben Vinagre went to Olympiacos. They've lost a few decent players, however, yeah, I'd probably go lower in solid, to be honest with you.
It's not high in solid, but it's better than not quite Carling.
Yeah, it's better than like Sheffield United and Southampton.
Yeah.
Next up then is Newcastle United, who I think the best business for them was getting Alan St. Maximin.
Callum Wilson.
To agree to a $6 million
Callum Wilson.
6-year contract. But
I'd put it this way, I don't know why he's done that.
No, maybe not.
I don't know why he's done that. Why would you want to commit your future to Steve Bruce? Seriously, of all the managers in the world, you go for Steve Bruce.
But along with that, Callum Wilson comes in from Bournemouth for 20 odd million. Jamal Lewis came from Norwich. I completely forgot that signing even happened, to be honest with you. Jeff Hendrick, I think, is quite a decent signing, believe it or not, from Burnley. On a free transfer. Ryan Fraser, again, coming from Bournemouth on a free transfer, but again, you've got to question his loyalties to the club after what he did to Bournemouth. And Matt Gillespie came in on a free transfer from Motherwell as a backup goalkeeper. I go solid, to be honest.
So
I think it's been a decent window for Newcastle. They've strengthened where they needed to, and they've done well while doing it. Yeah. Next up then, a team which I think is going to be quite high up again, Chelsea.
Yeah. Chelsea's interesting.
I'm going to put them in for Fabrizio Romano.
No.
What would you put in?
Cheeky. It would be for Fabrizio Romano had they brought in a decent centre back.
Thiago Silva.
No, he's not. He's 36. He's not going to cut it in the Premier League.
Who else have they got? Malang Sarr.
But they shipped him out on loan.
Who's the other side? I'll say it right now.
Christiansen, Rudiger, Tomori,
Zuma. Yeah, true. Okay. Nevertheless, they've brought the likes of Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, Ben Chilwell, Ziyech, Eduard Mendy, Sarr, Silva. They've brought in some decent players, to be fair to them. However, at the same time, they've let go of a lot of players. Morata, Pasalic, Nathan, Bakayoko went to Napoli. A lot of the players who have been out on loan in recent seasons and have finally just either gone back out on loan again or have just given up with Chelsea. Like, I read a big article about Lucas Piazon, who's obviously been on loan, I think, since he was like 18 or 19 at Chelsea, and he's now nearly 25. he's never really played for the first team. He's just always been floating around on the loan market. I think one big departure, or two big departures that they've let go of, is Willian and Pedro, two wingers who have been decent in recent seasons for Chelsea, especially Willian. Him going to a fellow Premier League rival, obviously their biggest rivals. That's, I wouldn't say a blow for Chelsea, but it's not good for them, to be fair. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add. Honestly, I think they shouldn't have gone for Mendy as the goalkeeper. They should have probably gone for like a Andre Onana. I think we discussed in a previous podcast
or
episode.
Jean-Louis Donnarumma, so he's out of contract at the end of the season.
Yeah, because, well, Mendy's, I never really heard of him until he's come in, but maybe they just don't want to risk spending
But
too
he's
much
28.
money.
He's 28 as well, whereas you've got Onana and Donnarumma are younger. So for me personally, they've been the better
probably
options.
better goalkeepers as well. But yeah, next up then, another team who are probably going to be floating down there towards the relegation zone, but West Bromwich Albion.
Yeah. Have they really brought anyone in? Yeah, not really. I mean, they brought in Carl Grant.
Yeah.
I mean, he started last night. I was shocked at
He
that.
scored a disallowed goal, I think.
Did he?
With a header or something. I read about it on Twitter.
Well, no, but I mean, obviously, am I glad they got that deal over the line? Yes, because they were just kind of messing Huddersfield about a bit.
Yeah,
so,
his commitments weren't fully there, I think, at the end.
So, am I glad Huddersfield sold him? No, because we needed him. Is he going to do all right for West Brom? If he can do what he did in the Premier League with us, then he'll probably get about 8 goals, 8, 9, 10 goals maybe.
It's not bad.
No, it's all right. It's what they need at the end of the day. They need someone who can score goals. And
Right now they've got Charlie Austin.
I know, exactly. They need someone who can score goals. So it's been an all right window, but it's been a not quite Carling because I can't think of anyone else they brought in.
Yeah, they've basically brought in players who they had on loan last season. I don't know where West Brom's gone. Oh, Bradford Sunderland. Okay. They brought in like Grady Angana, Matias Pereira, Kravinovic, I think is a decent sign as well. However, saying that they brought in like Conor Gallagher, who was doing really well for Charlton and for Swansea last season. Cedric Kipre came in from Wigan. Again, he was alright at Wigan, probably not Premier League standard if to be completely honest. Branislav Ivanovic, of course, as well. Came from Zenit. I think he had a really good debut last night. I think he was last night they played, right? I think he was.
Who did?
West Brom?
Yeah, they played last night.
Yeah, probably the biggest departure was Nathan Ferguson, but yeah, not quite Carling. Probably not enough to stay up, which is a shame. But next up, Leicester City, who...
They brought in Castagna. He was a really good signing. He's done well for them. Who else have they brought in? I can't think of anyone else they brought in.
Wesley Fofana from Saint Etienne for about 30 million. Senjig Under from Roma for a loan. That's really it, to be honest with you. They've let go of obviously Ben Chilwell, who was gone out on loan. Andre Silva went to...
No, he hasn't gone out on loan.
Not Andre. Oh, not on loan.
Ben Chilwell's been sold.
Adrian Silva went out on loan, not bloody Chilwell.
That's up for 1.2 million.
Ouch.
Yeah. 1.2 million.
Not worth it. Yeah, I'd put it probably in solid, to be honest. I don't know.
Yeah, they've done all right. I mean, the only nameable signing really is Castagna. So
I don't know how much is that Shindig Under playing for them.
I don't even know. Keep them in low end solid.
Yeah. Next up then is Arsenal, who
they've had a damn good window.
Yeah,
I think they've had a good window.
Thomas Partey obviously being the biggest name who came in, alongside Gabriel.
Willian,
of course as well. Cedric Soares and Pablo Mari, their transfers are made permanent. Runarsson was brought in as a backup goalkeeper to replace Emiliano Martinez. Yeah, and then I don't know what else to add about that. They've lost Torreira, Mkhitaryan, Mavropanos, Guendouzi and Martinez. I put it in a cheeky window to us. I think Arsenal have improved.
done well. They've done well.
The final two then, Crystal Palace is the first one, who I can't think of anyone they brought in.
Again, their best signing of the window is not letting Taha go.
Yeah, that's true. However, Eberechi Eze, or Eze, however you pronounce that, Eze, him coming from QPR, it's a good signing. I think there was a lot of competition from the likes of Fulham as well. I think he could be really good if he links up well with Zaha. They're two very similar players in terms of being silky and skillful. I think they could be really good together. Jack Butland, I think that's a good signing for them. He'll supply competition for, I completely forgot the name of the goalkeeper. Forgot his name completely. Nathan Ferguson on the free transfer, that's a good deal, along with Nathaniel Klein.
Yeah, it's an alright deal, is that one. I mean, Klein, he's not really done it for Liverpool in the past few years. It's obviously why they've let him go. I think he was at Bournemouth, had an injury, didn't play. So, it's a decent signing. Is it anything special? No, but have they done anything special in general? No.
I'll probably put solid, I think. I don't think it's really not quite Carling because the only player they've sold is Alexander Sorloth, who was doing well for Leipzig, I think it was, in Germany for 18 million, so they got a decent fee for him. They also brought in Michy Batshuayi to replace him, who's obviously a good enough striker for the Premier League. I'd put him solid. Yeah. The final one then, Liverpool, who are the Premier League champions, didn't really strengthen him, if I remember right. I can't remember.
No, they brought in a left back to be a backup for Robertson. They brought in
Thiago,
who was a good signing, and they brought in Diogo Jota. But Van Dijk's out for about 8 months now, so they should have really brought a centre back in.
Yeah, I mean, do you really trust Joe Matip and Joe Gomez to be the two
No.
main centre backs for your club? Brian Brewster left the club, did well to get that much money for him, alongside Dejan Lovren, the best centre back in the world. Yeah, it's been an alright window for Liverpool. I think I'm really excited to see how Diogo Jota does because I think he could be a decent enough player. The camera's completely gone. Yeah, I feel like we should put him solid again.
I'd say a low end solid. It's not been a good. For me personally, Liverpool, they could have done better.
Yeah.
Premier League champions should have done better. They needed to bring in players. I think the only reason we can put them in solid is because of Thiago.
Yeah.
I think without the acquisition of him, it would have been not quite Carling, if not Bradford standard.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the only club in Bradford standard this week is, well, not this week, this time, is Burnley. So
that's deserved.
Burnley get. But nevertheless, that's going to be the end of this week's episode of the Benchwarmers Podcast. Hopefully you all have enjoyed, and yeah, like from a coach Josh Sykes.
It's alright, Gab.
If you want to see more car episodes or anything like this, even though we're not both properly really focusing, mainly because I'm terrified Josh is driving.
What?
And he's trying not to crash us. Yeah, let us know if you want to see more of these tier things. We're interested to see how it does. And we'll see you all as soon as possible.
Bye.
Bye.